Once upon a time, in a kingdom where green hills kissed the sky and rivers sang songs of peace, there ruled a kind and just king. His heart was open to everyone, from peasants to animals, and they all repaid him with love and trust. But of all his friends, the king had one who was closer than any other, a wise parrot with feathers glowing with emerald and ruby. He was more than just a bird, he was a companion, a comforter on dark nights and a keeper of royal secrets. His voice, soft and deep, always found its way to the king's soul. One day, under the shade of the palace garden, the parrot bowed his head and said softly, "Your Majesty, allow me to visit my old parents in the distant forest. I will return in a few days." The king's heart sank as if a shadow had fallen across the sun. The thought of separation from his friend, even for a short time, was unbearable. But holding back his tears, he nodded, "Go, my friend. Just promise to come back." The parrot, his feathers flashing, soared into the sky, crossed endless forests, rivers and mountains, until he reached his native nest. Meeting his parents filled him with joy, but parting darkened their eyes with tears. They handed him a fruit golden, shining like a small sun. "Give this to the king," they said. "This fruit restores youth and heals all ailments." The parrot, trembling with delight, tightly squeezed the fruit in his claws and flew back. The journey was long and his strength left him. Tired, he sank under an old tree with a spreading crown, where the shadows promised peace. Putting the fruit nearby, he fell asleep. But in the night a poisonous snake crawled up, its scales shining like black obsidian. She took a bite of the fruit and disappeared into the grass, leaving behind the poison that had soaked its flesh. The parrot, unsuspecting, woke up and continued on his way. Returning to the palace, he joyfully flew up to the throne. "Your Majesty, this fruit is a gift for you. It will keep you young and healthy forever." The king, touched by his friend's loyalty, smiled, but his minister, whose eyes were always looking for a trick, whispered, "My lord, be careful. What if this is a trap? Let's check." A piece of the fruit was given to a servant. He swallowed it, and a moment later collapsed lifeless. The king's joy turned to rage, like a storm eclipsing the sun. "You betrayed me," he thundered, pointing at the parrot. "You wanted me dead." The parrot, horrified, tried to scream the truth, but his voice was drowned in tears. "Your Majesty, he began, but the king, blinded by anger, waved his hand, "Execute him." The guards seized the bird, and soon its bright feathers faded under the blade. The remaining fruits were thrown outside the palace walls, and the king forbade anyone to talk about them. Days passed, and in the place of the discarded fruits a tree grew tall, with leaves as if carved from emerald, and fruits shining with gold. The king, still tormented by anger, declared, "These fruits are poisonous. No one should touch them." But fate was preparing a lesson. One day an old couple passed by, exhausted by hunger and years. Their eyes, clouded with fatigue, lit up at the sight of the golden fruit. Not knowing about the ban, they ate it and lay down to rest under the tree. Next morning a miracle happened. Their wrinkles smoothed out, their backs straightened, and their eyes shone with youth. The news of the miracle spread like the wind. The king, curious but cautious, called an old courtier whose body was bent under the weight of illness. He ate a piece of the fruit, and in front of everyone, his weakness evaporated, his voice grew stronger, and his face shone with youth. The crowd gasped. The truth, like lightning, pierced the king. The fruit was magical. The parrot was innocent. He brought a gift full of love, and the king, blinded by anger, took his life. Tears poured from the king's eyes. He fell to his knees before the throne, whispering the name of his friend. His heart was torn apart by guilt, and the palace, once full of light, now seemed cold and empty. The tree with golden fruit still stands, but its shadow holds not only miracles, but also a lesson. This story is a warning. In anger we are blind, in haste, deaf. We forget to listen to those who love us the most. One decision taken in a fit of anger can take away loyalty that can never be returned. True wisdom is not in quick judgments, but in the ability to stop, listen to your heart and choose kindness, even when doubts scream louder than the truth. Before you raise your sword, ask yourself, what if you are wrong? Regret comes too late when the innocent is silent forever. Share this motivational story in the comments. Was there a moment when you regretted a hasty decision? Let this story remind you, listen to your heart, not your anger. Like, subscribe and share so that this inspiring story can touch others.